our goal is to kind of create an Ivy League for developer schools, which creates confidence in the company's minds, knowing that these schools that the students that are coming from the schools are all of high standard. And for potential students, it gives them confidence knowing that, hey, these schools are good and that we're going to get a job afterwards. So customer validation is this. We talked to Sharif, the founder of Dev Bootcamp. He was open to our idea. He expressed enthusiasm in the concept, the product, and he said he wants to sit down and talk about exactly where we can help Dev Bootcamp and create a relationship that can help both of us. So another customer validation was this, is like, hey, do companies need junior developers, right? So we're like, let's search this. Well, here are some of the companies that are recruiting in South Bay, and it looks like they need junior developers. Now you may be asking, why junior developers? Things that senior developers, they cost much more, and there's a high turnover rate. Think about junior developers is they're more hungry, they're going to work harder, and they cost less. So, our business model is this, that every time a company hires from our database of students that are sourced from development schools, we're going to charge them 22%, which means is this, that we keep a 2% fee for ourselves, and the rest of the 20% goes back to the school. So that means for Dev Bootcamp, they're still making the full 20% that they usually do, and we keep the 2% for the value we provide of bringing more companies in and ensuring quality. So an example is this, if we get 500 students in this upcoming year, our estimated revenue will be around $800,000, which is the average salary per student for that to happen is around $80,000 per year, which seems like the going rate for a developer in this market time. Now, you're going to be saying, why now? The main reason is this, is that the developer school marketplace is nascent and is still growing, so we feel like we have a strategic position to become the sourcer in this marketplace, connect those schools, and help them establish themselves and make it a legitimate option for companies to recruit for them at a regular basis, instead of making it, hey, there's a Dev Bootcamp here, and let's say there's one school in New York called Flatiron. Now, there's a lot of opportunity in this because right now the only vertical we're targeting is developers, but the second most in-demand place is designers, and a lot of these schools are starting to offer designer classes. So Startup League in Chicago and Block.io, which is an online developer school, are going to start offering classes for designers, which pretty much means is that after this... All right,
thank you very much. Steve, you can make 22% off each of the companies. Why wouldn't Dev Bootcamp just charge 22%?
The reason is you're not going to be able to charge the extra 2% because you're not providing enough value. In the sense of this, the reason why we can charge the extra 2% is because companies want to look at a large number of students to recruit from. And that's what we're trying to offer, is an aggregation of students, right? Which means that if you have a large pool of students to recruit from, more companies are going to want to recruit from this pool, which means that developer schools are going to be judged on the quality of students they produce. So if the Dev Bootcamp produces good students, they're going to get more hires, which means that you guys are going to be making more money.
Can I jump in and add something? Additionally, Dev Bootcamp won't be putting all the resources into hiring that they currently are. They'll be able to focus solely on training, which means that even if we could only get 20-21% and you were taking a 1-2% cut, you'd still be making more money and being able to concentrate on what you guys really meant to do.
Actually, that's a key point. Forgot to add that in there, is that when it comes to contracting companies, Dev Bootcamp and these other developer schools are not going to be doing that. Our goal is that we want to provide and hire get the contracts done for the companies, so the schools only have to produce the students and put them into the marketplace. And these contracts with the companies ensure that if a student that they get hired from our platform, they get the 20% that they're required. So we're actually reducing costs in that aspect that you guys don't have to run around looking for companies and getting sales associates to do that for you.
So what are your these junior hackers to be think?
We like it.
Okay.
what do people who might be on your system who want to go get job placements after going through these developer schools think about?
So what do the students think about it?
What do the students think about it?
Okay, so the students think it's better because
it was built by students.
So yeah, so
I'm asking about your customer validation.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So part of the customer validation is we had a chance to talk to some other people who were interested in joining developer schools or talking online to App Academy, which is called App Starter, which is another developer school in the area. Pretty much what it does is this: is that once a student graduates, they are not limited to the few companies that those schools already contract. They're going to have a larger marketplace to choose from. They have a selection of saying, hey, maybe I want to work in a different state, or I want to work with a company that my school didn't have a previous contact with. So the goal, pretty much what we're doing is we're expanding the marketplace and what it is right now.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, guys, when I say on deck, that means that you guys should be setting up because we have 15 teams to go through, and I'd really appreciate if you guys can be ready to swap out. Otherwise, I'm going to need to start the time. So,
Good job, man. Yeah, man. Sure.
so on deck we have teeth, and then finally we have split the tab. All right, let's go.
Grocery store or cafe or something close by near my school. I go to Santa Clara University, and there's not very many options close by, especially as a college freshman. I don't have a car, and it's hard for me to get to those places. It's such a big part of my life, and that would really make my life a lot easier.
Nice.
All right, with that introduction, I'm Eric. Our team is called Flourish. As you can see from the introductory video, a person like Stacy has a problem. She needs gluten-free food, and there so happens that there is no gluten-free restaurant near where she lives. Our company, Flourish, solves that problem at the same time as we allow businesses to flourish, hence our name. So how does Flourish work? Well, let's say that you are a consumer and you have a problem like Stacy, Tracy or Stacy. You go on the site, and our website, and you input that you need this kind of restaurant in your neighborhood. Business owners or prospective business owners can then see the demands of that neighborhood and get a very direct sense of demand, so that before they invest in a shop and buy everything, they will actually have a good sense of whether people will come there or not. Other benefits for business owners include our platform to raise money. So one thing we offer is raising money similar to Kickstarter. So raising money, but also raising volunteer hours. So people can volunteer in hours. And a third benefit that is very important is that once a business uses our site, it will over time build community in the neighborhood. And once it's ready to open up its doors, it already has like very interested customers. So that it will reduce the risk of opening up something that will not work. And with that, I will turn it over to Nithal, who will explain a little bit more about our business model.
Hi, my name is Nithal, and I'm part of Team Flourish, and we're very excited to show you our website today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story about our website. So when we first started at the pitch day, you may remember, we were actually thinking about how to solve the problem of empty real estate locations and what we as neighborhood or neighbors would want to see in that location. But as Tim O'Connor in his initial presentation, and David and a number of other mentors reminded us, is that we don't always know what we want. We want to be shown what is possible. So we kind of flipped our whole idea and we thought, let's champion those small businesses with really unique, creative ideas. Let's give them a platform to explain what they're doing and how they're doing it, and let us as neighbors support what they do. And not even just support as other crowdfunding platforms do with funding, but even volunteer hours. There could be a great new bookstore that says, we have a space, but but we need an accent wall. And maybe if that's one of my friends, I'll say, you know what, I'll do anything. Tell me how I can help your business succeed and thrive and flourish. So we're really excited about what the possibility is. Also, there are, in our market research, we saw that there are a number of other crowdfunding platforms. In fact, crowdfunding.org, I have to on my paper for this, crowdfunding.org said that in April 2012, there were 450 crowdfunding platforms, and by the end of this year, there's going to be over 500. So there's two ways you can look at that. You can say that the market is saturated, or you can say that there is opportunity and that it's growing. Over $1.5 billion have been raised on crowdfunding platforms. So I think what really we saw the opportunity is, where the opportunity is to go local. If you think of Kickstarter or Indiegogo, you will think of crowdfunding for products or for people or for ideas. But what about in your neighborhood or for small businesses or things that are really tangible where you can actually have be invited to a launch party or go to a pre-event? So that's where we really think that there is a lot of opportunity and that it's really an untapped market. And we are so excited for you guys to check out our app, which and our website and our campaigns. And really quickly, I want to introduce our amazing team. Eric, you met, who is an entrepreneur / developer and a multi-talented person. Simeon has done a lot of the background research and is a successful entrepreneur in Russia. We have Hamed, who is one of our market people, and Prasanna, who did our Android app. Thank you.
I think we got it. Who did your design?
I did.
Okay, it's pretty sick. I like it. Yeah. Thank you for being good at that. Yeah. Making these look pretty is not overrated. Let's see. It took you. First of all, I love it. I think there's some holes, and so if we want to get into the crowdfunding space that's already way too crowded. That being said, I understand why this is needed in the world. So I can see that. I think in regards to the pitch, you took a little while to get me from like gluten restaurants to we're trying to crowdfund local businesses according to local demand. Like it took me like 2 minutes to figure out that transition had happened. Other than that, I think it was a pretty strong pitch. I did want to take a moment to say that I really